Evening, folks. Thanks for coming in. Hope you're enjoying your week. Thursday already. This week's fluid, absolutely fluid. But it's freezing up here in Scotland, by the way. Absolutely Baltic. But however, enough about me. Tonight, our lovely guest is a lady that I've been trying to go. Well, it's been a game of tennis, really. You know, the ball's been going back and forward for I don't know how long. Don't know,
for quite a while.
About half a year, I don't know, months. But we finally managed to nail down a definite date, as you can see, and she's here. Donna Louise is over there. So it's and a dog's down. Dog's down there. The dog might be popping up every now and again, you know, but it is what it is. So it's good to finally have you on, dog.
Thank you for having me.
It's been, as I said, we've been trying to get this. We've been trying to organise this one for quite some time, but you're always happy. You're a busy lady.
I am. Yeah, I must admit, I'm surprised my husband puts up with me.
You know, is it one of these ships passing in the night kind of scenarios?
Yeah. Well, luckily we work together, so we see each other all day. No, it's good. We get on well. Don't pull that face.
Well, I'm glad you go on. You just said there we get on well. He's your husband. Obviously, you're not going to come over here and say, you know, I hate him. He's my husband, but I hate him.
No.
You know,
I do have a lot of people say to me, how can you work with your husband, go home, and still be how you are? I'm like, it's because we actually enjoy being around each other.
well, that's it. He's click. The chemistry is there, as they say.
Exactly.
That was my serious. That's the only serious bit you're getting up with me. That's it. Serious is. We don't do serious. We do respect, but we do not do serious. We used to do formal when we first started out. We had a list of questions and stuff, like 20 questions, and we would ask them, you know, and then, but it was too formal and too polite and stuff.
It dwindles off a bit, doesn't it? Because you're like, okay, where are we going now with this?
Aye, and then we had one or two guests, you know, who come on and you say to them, have you ever, you know, you done an investigation? They say, yes.
That's it, not telling you where.
That was it. Aye, that, you know, yes. Did anything happen? You know, no.
Oh, no.
You feel like getting a fishing rod and, you know, come on.
Yeah. Where's that mallet?
Aye. So some of them, you were like 15 minutes in, and you'd asked all the questions. You're sitting there, you know.
It needs to be relaxed.
I think it flows a little better. See, you just relaxed and, you know, laid back and you have a gig. I mean, some of your shows get right down the toilet, I'll be honest with you. You know, they do. But you do. I watch some shows, no disrespect him, I've said this many a time, and you just want to go and dig up your granny while you're watching them. You know what I mean? Because that's Laura. She's one of our mobs. She was with us today. She's lovely to meet, put a face to the name. Good evening, sorry. She keeps calling me handsome. No, I know I'm handsome. I don't need reminded. You know.
Own your stuff. Own your stuff.
You know, but she knows that it winds me up and she calls me handsome. You know. So, but Laura and I'll talk to you later, though, because you're only like 2 minutes up. She's literally 2 minutes away. I can see.
Call her down for the chat. She can come and join in.
But she's had a long day because we were away doing the Wallace Trail today. So, but you can literally see her house when I've got my binoculars up. I'm only kidding, I don't have binoculars.
I was going to say, there's a word for you.
No, it's actually Laura's got binoculars, not me. We found that out today, but well, that's enough of that subject.
So how does that go today, anyway?
Well, as I say, we don't do series. Some of the podcasts you watch and sit there and say, tonight I'm going to do tarot cards. And the first card is
the death card.
The death card, so you're not going to die. You know. I'm on the last day of my holiday. I'm a crazy stalker.
We all need a crazy stalker.
Well, Laura's a crazy stalker, and that's by her own admittance, her own words. You know what I mean? So
that's our ladies' traits.
she can't get back in it. She can't get back on it. You know what I mean? Anyway, Donna,
Yeah.
let's talk about you.
Oh,
What
no,
you do?
I don't want to do that. What do I do?
Are you boring? You're not a boring person,
I'll definitely not say I'm boring.
right? So, you know, that's the kind of reason you came on, dog, to sort of find out about you.
Find out about me. Well, what do you want to know?
Your sort code, account number, PIN number.
Do you know what? I told you my memory is rubbish. I can't remember that now.
You know, stuff like that. I don't need to know your address or anything like that. About your interest in the paranormal, how about will we try that?
Yeah. I must admit, I do. Obviously, I help my friends with their horses, which I absolutely love, especially when I get stuck in the mud. I keep playing with a bloody screwdriver. Look, I need to put that down.
Aye, put it down.
It's
A
gone.
woman with a screwdriver is never good. I'm not doing it in that sexist way, but you know.
It's because he used that end as a hammer.
That's not a hammer, that's a screwdriver.
No, but if it's hard enough that it can bang in the wall, then why not?
Do you have much joy using it as a hammer?
Depends who I'm planning on hitting with it. No, I'm joking.
You know, how long does it take to put a nail in a wall with hitting it with a screwdriver?
Quicker than an aerosol can.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I don't think that was possible. Laura's sister actually. I was going to say runs a horse. This is runs. She owns a horse.
Oh, yeah. They're my friend. My friends have got 3 horses now. We had recently to have one put to sleep, bless her heart, because she was an old girl. But I love it. I do that. Obviously, I've got my family. I work. Paranormal is a massive thing that I do. I'm always out on events, like with friends and going on other teams' events, and yeah, I love it. I think if I didn't have that, I think I would actually be quite boring.
If you didn't have the paranormal,
yeah.
Forget the horse. You know, forget the husband, the horses, and all the rest of it.
No, they keep me going. They all keep me going. But we all have that one thing that we really, really, really look forward to. And mine is the paranormal. I just love it.
So what's I'm going to ask you the normal question. You know, what sparks your interest in it?
I've always had an interest. Always, ever since I was a little girl, things used to happen and I used to see things. But it wasn't until Nigel and I got together 16 years ago that I was able to explore in it more, because Nigel has a passion for it as well. So one year for his birthday, I decided to buy us a ghost hunt on an ex-friends group, and then it went from there. Literally, we just went on as many as we could, and then Nigel doesn't really come on many anymore because he falls asleep.
That's it. So they're that exciting then, aye. You're really doing yourself some favours, you know, you're advertising wise. You're really
telling yourself well, aren't I?
My husband doesn't go because he tends to nod off.
He does nod off now. Yeah, he does nod, because some of the stuff that I've experienced, I've got to put the bloody screwdriver away. Hang on.
Aye, put it in the drawer or something.
Some of the stuff I've experienced, he wants to, and he hasn't. He's witnessed some stuff. We've had some interesting events together, but he wants some of the stuff that I've seen that he hasn't seen. You know, like we've had doors shut in. When we actually investigated at the Edinburgh Vaults, Nigel was there, and we had almost a full apparition in the doorway. That was incredible. So he did witness that. And then also as well, it was really weird. We stayed in a hotel in Edinburgh, and this was when it was on the second lockdown. Everything still had to close at 10 o'clock. And then we was going into the hotel, and then as we walked in, you had the reception area on your right-hand side, and then there was a telephone cabinet on the right-hand side further down, and then the lift. And at that point, it was when you was only allowed to be in the lift with someone you knew or by yourself. Both my husband and I saw this man come from the telephone booth, walk to the lift. We saw the doors open, And then we got to the lift, the doors closed, but we were waiting for the lift to go up and do the little ping. Nothing happened. We was there for probably about 3 or 4 minutes. Nige went, no, I'm just going to push this button. Push a button, there was no one there, but the lift never moved.
That's a weird one.
Yeah, it is a really weird one.
See, I'd like to see, I've got 2 comments. Hold on. Donna, you sound like me. If it wasn't for the paranormal, I'd be boring as hell. I knit, read, and crochet and do diamond art, so I get the boring. Because
I love it. I read.
Knitting and crocheting are really exciting pastimes. No offense, Laura. You know, I tried knitting once. I did. We used to work in a hub, and there was this lady in it, and she decided to hold a sort of knitting class. It was a Tuesday. Never forget it. And I'm from Glasgow. I was brought up in Pollock. Do you know what I mean? One of the roughest areas in Glasgow. But I thought, I'll give it a go. You know, so I'm sitting there with the needles and the wool. And this woman came out to me, and I'll be honest with you, I did not like her. Anyway. You know what I mean?
Bad vibes.
She wasn't nice. But anyway. And she says, how are you getting on, Scott? And I lifted the knitting needle up, and the wool just kind of rolled up. I says, how the you think I'm getting on? I says, I'm a Glasgow man from Pollock. Knitting's no my thing. And I gave up. Know what I mean?
Yeah. I tried crocheting, but being a lefty, I'm dexterous. I can work really well with both hands. But crocheting, oh my God, no. I couldn't do it. It done my nutting. I couldn't get the hang of it. So I put that one down.
I just don't have the patience. I wouldn't have the patience for all that. That's Kate Frazee from Chicago. I always say San Francisco, but she's no for she's from Chicago. She's
wild.
She's wanting to know what the man looked like. What
he looked like. He was probably about 5'6", 5'7". I mean, I'm 5'7", so he was roughly about my height. He had a checkered shirt on. I don't actually recall the trousers, but he had dark hair. But both myself and my husband saw exactly what he was wearing. So for us both to see him, and then for the lift not to move, that's pretty unexplainable. Because, you know, it's just, even now we talk about it and we're just still kind of like, did that actually happen, you know? And that was, how long ago was 4 years ago, wasn't it, COVID? It was in the second lockdown.
2020.
Yeah, was it 21? I think it's
2020 was COVID, because that's when we started PIH. That's when Sarah and I started PIH. The kind of right time, but the wrong time. We started about 2-3 weeks before the big lockdown came.
Yeah, so this was the second one when all the pubs in Edinburgh were still shutting at 10 o'clock.
I mean, we've seen things. We did. There's a small village. We live in Ayrshire. There's a wee small village called Stair. It's about 2 houses and a church, and that's about your whack. But we done a collab there with Spig, and there was our team and Spig were there, and I think it was 3 people. Really interesting. The way the church is situated, the car park's at the top end of the graveyard sort of thing, and there was 3 folk. I can't remember who it was. There was 2 for Spig. I think there was 1 for your team. Saw a guy walking. This was during the summer. Saw a guy walk across the car park. So they thought it was somebody going towards the car, so they ran up, but this guy just vanished. You know, and it's in the middle of nowhere. There's kind of 2 roads, so we looked down the roads, and I went into there's trees and that, and I went into the trees and had a look, but he was gone, and there was nowhere this guy could have went. I never saw the bugger. These did, but he just vanished. You know, and as you say, I always miss it. I never see anything.
It's not the first time that's happened either. Myself, obviously, you know, I'm with a group, Paranormal in Presence in Paranormal. I've forgotten, my brain's not. I told you, my brain's not with it. We was at Woodchester Mansion a couple of months ago, and my friend, she saw the top half of a man in the woods. She described what he was wearing. I didn't see him, but then when we've gone back out in the car park to pack up to go home, I just saw a pair of legs. I didn't see the top half. I just saw it because it made me jump. I've looked out into the woods, and I saw a pair of legs move, which is really weird because my friend saw the upper half a couple of hours before that. We didn't see a lower half, but then I saw the lower half. It's really weird, and it's quite, people might believe it or not, but sometimes I see just spirit legs, especially if there's been a road accident. When I used to live in Hemel Hempstead, that's where I'm originally from. If you're driving, yeah, you interested? If you're driving the back roads towards Watford, there was a couple of incidents. And one morning, I'm going to work at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I saw these pair of legs run out in front of me in the headlights. It was pitch black. I've slammed on my brakes, thinking I've just hit someone. Nobody's there. But then when I was coming back that way, at the side of the road, there were some flowers that wasn't there the day before, but I hadn't heard of any accidents.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I know, you know, it's when you see spirits, you know, like walking through doors, or walking through walls, I should say, or you see them kind of like the waist up. One explanation is when they're walking, the floor when they in their time was a lot lower, you know. As the old scenario like Chester is famous for the sighting of Roman soldiers, but you can only see them like for the knees up. And they discovered that the Roman road was a lot lower back then. You know, they dug it up and they found the Roman road. They said, well, that explains why you can only see them for the...
Yeah, it's all residual, isn't it? You know, they're still walking in their timeline.
Where are you from, though? I'm originally from Norwich.
I'm originally from Hemel Hempstead.
Sounds posh.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not posh at all. Believe me.
It's got that kind of posh sound. Same as Norwich. I'm from Norwich.
No, that's my Surrey accent.
Oh, you got an accent?
yeah. Well, Hemel's like, all right, mate, innit? You know?
You're all right, mate. Where are you doing the day?
Whenever I go back to Hemel, I end up talking like that. But when I'm in Surrey, I talk like this. So I get told anyway.
You see, I'm from Glasgow, as I said, and Sarah's from Ayrshire. There's talking about Glasgow here. The Chubmeister's in. Here we go. There he's there. That's Rigger. He's a lead investigator with SPIG, Scottish Paranormal Investigation Group. He's the chubby one. You know.
No one's chubby in that photo.
No. If you look at the photograph, I believe that's him, the second one in, next to the girl with the dress on.
There's no one chubby in that photo.
No, he is. He's quite a chubster. But, you know, anyway, I forgot what I was saying. So Sarah's from Ayrshire, which is about 20 miles from Glasgow, roughly the west coast. And Sarah says that I've lost my Glasgow accent and I picked up an Ayrshire accent. I can't hear it. You know, I don't click on. Are you still saying that I've lost my Glasgow accent, me? Yeah. I see. I've lost my Glasgow accent, but to me, I still sound Glaswegian.
What you need to do, you need to try and find a recording of if you've been talking before. No. Why?
I was talking to Laura about this. I hate the sound of my own voice.
We all do.
I cannot stand it. Even what thanks, Big Cheese. You went posh since moving to the Gardaw. We moved house last year, and it's a new build. It's a new area, you know, and so it's Jane Amber Gardens. So we say we live in the Gardongs, and it's all posh.
That's very posh.
It's quite posh. We've got a carport as well. You know, it's just Rigger's jealous as hell because he's only got a street. We have a carport, he's got a street. So that's why he put on there the Gardongs. You know?
I see now, yeah.
Neil Scott, you sound well last week. Thank you very much, Kate. Posh gaffer, you are now. I mean, so that's where that comment's aimed at the Gardongs, because I always joke that that's where we're from. But
I just thought it was a slip of the keyboard.
You what?
I thought it was a slip of the keyboard.
No, it's, we call it the Gardongs. No, I mean,
got you.
Just to wind them up. So Edinburgh.
Yeah.
What vaults was it you did?
Nidri Street.
The south or Nidri Street or Nidri Street South?
Nidri Street South, I think it was. It's the one. I'm really bad with directions. Really.
Do you
really
get
bad.
downstairs or upstairs?
Down.
Aye, that's the Nidri Street ones.
Yeah, we went there twice. The first time we went, because it's the one next door to the Banshee. I think that's Nidri South.
Aye, you downstairs in Nidri South.
Yeah, I think so. I'm really bad with directions. Really, really bad. Everywhere to me is up when it's not. So it's normally down.
Right.
But
so
it
could have been up then.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Do you know, I can't even remember. It was a massive step to get in. Did you have to go up? I think you went up. I can't bloody remember. My I told you my memory is rubbish at the moment.
Was there a stone circle in it?
Yeah, that's the one.
Aye, that's Nidri Street. That's Nidri Street ones. We did them with Spig actually, as an event, and let's just say we left about 3 hours early, 3 or 4 hours early.
Did you? Why?
There was nothing. Absolutely
really?
Not a thing.
The first time we went, it was absolutely amazing. That's when we almost had the full apparition come in front of us, because the pubs were shutting at 10 o'clock. So from 10 o'clock, it was so quiet. You could hear everything. I got pinched through the spirit box. I did get called a very nasty name in a very strong Scottish accent. I will tell you another time. I'm not doing it on the live. But yeah, because I did kind of... The gentleman that was there, obviously you probably would have heard of Mr. Boots.
That's Blair Street.
Yeah, yes.
Mr. Boots is reported to be in the Blair Street vaults.
He's purportedly to be all around them.
Yeah, I've only ever known him to be in the Blair Street one, but carry on, dear.
Okay. Well, one of the guides that was working there at the time, I'm not going to say her name, she was lovely. She told me his name, and she said that he doesn't like women or anyone knowing his name. So once I found out his name, I called it out, and I got called a very nasty name through the spirit box.
In a Scottish accent.
In a Scottish accent. My husband was with me, and I had, at the time, this is when I was hosting, and I had 6 guests with me as well, and they all heard it. They was like, did that just say what I think it said? I'm like, yeah, it just said what you think it said.
You see, we've had that many a times, Scottish, especially at Loudon Cup. We get a lot of Scottish accent with Irish as well. And we were there one night, and Sarah, she was called, you know what she was called it. But folk can't, I know these, I've seen this to other people, the apps and stuff like that, they're loaded with a certain amount of words, obviously, but it's when it comes out with accents, really, we can't explain that.
No.
So we've had Scottish, Irish, French, I think we've had American as well.
Wow.
And, I don't know, to my knowledge, these apps can't do different accents, But Mr. Boots, he was a caretaker sort of thing, unofficially a caretaker. Yeah. He did exist. And one of the stories is he murdered. We did the Blair Street Vault, Sarah and I, 3 or 4 years back. We did a tour. Before we started, doing this, we just went as customers basically, and we did the Blair Street Vaults. And there's a certain room in the Blair Street Vaults, they call it Mr. Boots's room, and the story goes that he'd murdered a young woman and he kept her body in there in this room.
Yeah.
And there is a kind of different atmosphere when you walk in. But the thing I think you need to ask yourself is, because they tell you, you know, this is Mr. Boots's room.
Yes, power of suggestion.
So you walk in and there's a young lassie lying dead there, and he murdered, and he's a badging and that. So it's already up there. Whereas I think it'd be better if they didn't tell you.
Yeah.
And let you go in and just see if you experience anything yourself. Kate's asking, on your experience of it, what do you believe happens after death?
Well, obviously, our bodies are just vessels. Energy can't be destroyed; it can be dispersed. But I do believe that we do go on somewhere else, but we have the right to come back and visit. Like, the spirits that we try and interact with, I believe that's what we are capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, there's many people saying, "Oh, it's not real." Once you're dead, that's it. You're gone. We're energy. Energy doesn't disappear. It has to go somewhere. And if we're able to come back and put our energy and feelings on and around people, then that proves that we are really still in existence, but in a different form.
Aye. I mean, a lot of people put this up as well. There's Mr. Thompson, Mr. Thompson. Always good to see you, young sir. And it's was normal people wouldn't know like Brun. We did an investigation in Loudon. Well, done several here, but with Rosie Cardy and her partner up a few weeks ago, and we were at Loudon Kirk, and there's a farm nearby. There's a close connection between the Kirk and the farm, and at the farm there's a circular wall. So I says, can you tell me what was behind that wall? And then we get back sheep. And then so I said, what colour? It was black and there's white sheep up there. And I said, what colour? Can you tell me what colour the sheep were, or the sheep are, whatever? And he came back brun. Scottish accent.
Was this an app?
This was through the necrophonic.
Oh, okay.
It came through. And everybody heard, we'd done it on a live as well. Folk in the live here, it came back brun. And so I waited a wee while, and I said, look, I've forgotten the colour of the sheep. Can you tell me again? And it came back brun. And then I got a text for the owner of the farm that we're quite friendly with, and he says there's brown sheep in the next field to me.
That's pretty impressive, isn't it? You can't dispute that, can you?
No, and I was talking about this guy the other night. He doesn't want to be identified. We've investigated up at the farm as well, but he's no wanting fame or nothing like that. He says, keep me out of it, but he says there's brown sheep in the field next to where Al.
And that was through necrophonic?
That was through the necrophonic.
See, I must admit, I'm not a massive lover of the phone apps, because I go on investigations week after week. People whack their phone out, and you'll get stuff that said constantly, like, be scared, I'm dead, I died here, be afraid, run, and you're thinking, oh, here we go. But then, on the other hand, there has been some stuff that's come through that is actually kind of linked to the place where we are. So with one of the apps, I must admit, I'm kind of not being as anti-app, because this is used by a friend's team, and the responses she's had. I mean, the other week we was at the Galleries of Justice, and it came up prison. And I know obviously some places they might say, oh, well, it all depends if the location's on, if you allow the apps to have location, it can pick up with words and stuff where you are. But on this app, the locations are off. So when you get words that come through, and then even last weekend as well, when we was at the Coffins Museum, words were coming through that did kind of match where we were. But there are some apps where as soon as you see it, I'm like, oh God, here we go again. And I need to drop that, because people love it. I understand people will investigate in the best way they can, but to me, phone apps are kind of killing it in a way. I know people want proof, and I respect that, and I know it's no different than us having Paratex or these other devices. It's the same sort of thing, but it's just becoming so common just to whop your phone out rather than concentrating on what's around you. People are concentrating on, like, again, what's in front of you on the screen.
You see, we're not a very technical team, Sarah and I like our tech, but I've always said that spirit doesn't care. You know, we've always used the Necophonic and the Spirit Talker. We've tried that with some quite a bit of luck with the Spirit Talker. It was GSI that they put us on the Spirit Talker. We've tried other apps and just, you know, I'm not saying they don't work. They might work for other people. They might know. But I've always, I'm in the frame of thinking that Spirit doesn't care if you've got a £400 camera or a 30 pence ping pong ball. They don't care what you've got. They just want to hopefully communicate with you.
Yeah.
You know, and you can, I mean, we use REM pods, either nothing fancy. I know you can get them a few £100 and all the rest of it, but, it's Charlie, it was actually Charlie for Charlie and Rocks. He made ours, and we've had them for a couple of years, and they've never let us down. And, they weren't expensive.
I must admit, I do have a whole case full of kit. But there are some pieces of my kit that I love. I do love my Spirit Box. Like I said, I'll probably get blasted for saying about phone apps, but it's just my personal point of view. I love my Spirit Box and I love my REM pod. My REM pods never let me down. Mm-hmm. They are, I just love them. Cat balls, again, it's the same sort of thing. If you can get them going off and then, like if you got them splattered around and then they all go off at once, or you're asking for certain ones to go off, then brilliant. But when they just go off like sporadically every now and then, you've got to move that and take it away from the area. If it doesn't go off again, the cat ball might be faulty or just in a different position that it needed shoving away from.
It's where we use cat balls. I like the K2. We use the K2 and I like the REM pods. That's kind of basically it. We use the Necophonic. Laura usually records on her voice recorder when it uses her phone. She record and just leave it. And we've had a lot of good EVPs, sentences as well, through just sitting listening to them. Kate's wanting to know your views on ETs.
I don't really have any views on ETs. I do believe that we're not the only ones here. I do believe there are different forces out there more powerful and knowledgeable than what we are. But I've not ever put too much thought in it, truthfully.
I'm the same as you. There's life on other planets. There's got to be.
Yeah, it has to be. We can't be the only ones here.
But I mean, I've watched a few channels that say, we're going to get invaded and all the rest of it. It happens. There's nothing you can do.
Like people say, they could be walking amongst us now. We wouldn't have a clue.
No, so as long as they don't affect impact in real life, live and let live. Eric saying, speaking of REM pods, Eric does paranormal equipment, by the way. Okay. Rest in peace, paranormal gear. There's the wee logo there. Give him a look up.
Yeah, will do.
He's in America. He's moving to Scotland, choosing the better side of life. He's moving to Scotland as soon as possible, as far as I know. But
is he moving in you?
I don't know. I don't think he's chose a destiny, an spot yet, but we're looking forward to him finally moving over here. So the other half live, basically. And I'm not talking about the English, I'm talking about Scottish, Scottish, not offence, We've got a lot of English friends, loads, tons and tons of them. But tech with Spirit, I don't know, I prefer just being basic. I think you've more chance, even stuff like with a balloon, a simple balloon or something, some of that. Something that, because you can get Spirit for the 17th, 18th century, they don't know what a camera is.
No, exactly.
But they know what a ball is.
I tell you what, Scott, though, I'm just going to share it with you. Later on, I'll send you a photo over. I haven't posted it on social media yet, but where I was last weekend, I've got a very, very interesting photo. I've sent it to the team. They've tried to analyse it. We can't. But later on, after this or tomorrow, I will send it over to you and I'll ask your thoughts on it as well.
That's fine, Doc. That's fine. I'll give you my honest opinion. Kate's saying one theory is that one's communicating with other dimensional beings rather than ghosts. I suppose that's a thought.
Yeah. I think there's so much that we don't actually think about sometimes. It's not until someone mentions something, you're like, well, actually, you got a point there. It's just stuff that sometimes we just don't consider thinking about. I think we get so wrapped up in what we know that sometimes other things can just slip your mind.
I think there's that many different theories in the paranormal, and some people think of some, others will think of other ones. And as you say, it's when somebody turns around and mentions something to you, think, I suppose that it's possible, but how would you ever find out, we did an investigation a few weeks ago, again, loud and cut, but we get asked, are you ghosts?
Are you ghosts?
Are you ghosts? Which we thought, we've never been asked that. Never. And plus they used the word ghost, which we thought was quite strange, using the word ghost.
Yeah.
And then I keep forgetting who it was I was talking to. Laura will probably remember, she'll probably type it in. They were saying, well, maybe when you were investigating, whoever asked you that is for the future, and they're investigating you. And I was lost.
Yeah.
I was God.
It gets your brain going, though, doesn't it?
It does. I won't mention it. No, don't mention the Matrix, Laura. Thank you very much.
Why?
I'm interested now. Hectic Paranormals. They're also an Australian side as well. They did a show last year. Jem and Kate, they're fantastic ladies. Absolutely, they're nuts, but they're brilliant. Give them a look up. It was either Rosie or Jennifer that said about the investigating the future, investigating us and that kind of stuff. I was lost. But anyway, Jem and Kate, two lovely ladies, Hectic Paranormal. And so they done a show called the Glitch in the Matrix. And I think I lasted about 5 minutes and I was just totally lost. I did not have a clue what they were talking about. One story they told was, and this was documented, it was about a girl who was a waitress in a cafe and she'd served this couple and she went away, done something, and then she came back and the couple was sitting there, but they hadn't ordered yet. But this girl had already served them. See, that's the look that's the way I was looking when I was watching their show. And the brain just went pop, into overload. I thought, I don't get that, I don't get that at all.
Yeah, you'd think that was kind of like a deja vu sort of moment, wouldn't you? You dream about something and you're like, hang on, this has already happened, but then it actually hasn't already happened.
Sort of, aye. I'll just agree with you, aye.
See, now you've got me thinking, don't do that, it's dangerous.
So that's why Laura's saying that, because that show just totally blew my head. I was totally lost. And it's still a wee running joke till this day, the glitch in the Matrix.
I just saw Kate's comment into Solomon.
King Solomon's watches and seen how many.
Can you give me 2 seconds? There's something I need to show you that I found in the street.
Okay, doc.
Hang on. Is it here? Right, I've been 1 second. Is that okay? I need to.
That's fine, though. That's fine. Laura Sale was brilliant. The ideas they came up with was mind altering. I asked about diseases like Alzheimer's. Is that a glitch in the Matrix? See, that comment, Laura's lost me as well. I don't know. I've got no idea. But thanks for bringing that back up, Laura, about the Matrix one. I wonder what she's going to. This is the second show in a row. My guest has left me. Drink a pug of dope the other night, due to other things. I knew the guest tonight. She's left the room. Literally left the room. Right? No. And she's got, see her wee glistening lights in the stairs there. Towel over the door. Just waiting on her coming back. You know, talk amongst yourselves, folks.
Right, sorry, I need to find this book because this is really interesting and it's just kind of like made me go, bloody hell.
What was it you were saying before the show, Donna, about tidying up?
We're not allowed to go there.
I knew you can't find what you tidied up.
Oh my God, it's about the Solomon thing. I was walking down the street and I found this book about the Solomons, about the books of Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here it is. And that's this first time. I'm so sorry to leave your chat, but this has just like made me want to get
That's fine. This. The 3 magical books of Solomon. I don't know anything about the Solomon works, I'll be honest with you.
No, I mean, it's really weird. I went on a spiritual retreat and then my dog woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He couldn't sleep. So I thought, right, I'll take him out for a walk. And I was walking and then that book was on the pavement. And I thought, right, okay, that's a bit weird. I put a post out to local people if they lost a book or anything. Nothing.
I was just lying. Have you started it?
I've started a couple of pages. It's really complicated to first get into. There's a lot to get your head around. But my problem is I'll start about 20 books at once and then I'll go back and then I'll go back to another one and then I'll go back to another one.
It's a sign you have to study it.
Yeah, it's so weird. I mean, to find this just on the pavement at 4:30 in the morning and I walk that way every single day, walking my dogs and then boom, that was there.
That is a weird... See, sometimes these things happen and
no,
you can't explain it. You know, to find that book at 4:30 in the morning, it's quite unusual.
I know.
It's...
Yeah, I put a post up, and that's then your friend is the first one that I've ever heard mention that. So I'm like, oh my God. And then so I knew I had to find it, and it was just behind me in my bookcase.
See, when things like that happen, it's you think, why, you know, hey, Rita Doll, we just talked to your other half earlier on. That's Eric's better half.
Hiya.
Good lady. It's a weird thing happened to me last year. I was up in town and I actually took a photo and put it on the page. And it was a pedestrian precinct, and I was just standing there. And this one white feather came down and landed beneath my feet. Now, there wasn't any wind or nothing. This single white feather came down and landed between my feet.
Yeah, that's a bit strange, isn't it?
I put the, you know, I'm not into signs and all the rest of it. Obviously, I believe in spirit and there is something after the year, obviously. But it's when I saw this, I've heard of the white feather thing quite a bit. And I watched it. I was just going to say floating down, and it just landed beneath my feet, and I'm kind of looking about here to see if there was any more, or maybe a seagull had exploded or something above my head or something. You know?
Fine.
Because they're quite common, it's exploding seagulls in Scotland. They're quite common.
Yeah, we don't get many of them in Surrey.
You don't get many blown up birds in Surrey. I had a song at the penny I found the shore for, so I lost it 10 years ago, and apparently it happens, you lose.
Was it with finding stuff with Solomon then in the streets? That's a bit bizarre, isn't it?
You lose it. It helped me through my teenage years and it totally disappeared.
Oh, bless you.
Hi, Tracy Doll.
Hi, Tracy.
I really think it's all connected as a sign. It'll help broaden your investigations for sure. I wouldn't read 10, 20 books at the same time. Or, you know, I would just concentrate on that one.
Mm.
And
Tracy, yeah, I have to. I said I have started. It takes a lot of concentration. I mean, when it comes to reading, I love it anyway, but this does take an awful lot of concentration.
It says when weird things happen, you start to question, is that spirit trying to tell, is there somebody trying to tell me something? Or, because there's a couple of things happened to me over the years, and you think, is that somebody telling me,
I took it as a sign, because it's really weird that I'd just been away with a spiritual retreat, and there's a really lovely guy, his name's Paul Chisel, and he was on the retreat as well, and just the stuff he said actually really resonated with me, and it kind of just made me want to step back and go to basics. And then we got back on the Monday, and it was on the Tuesday evening, the Tuesday morning when I was walking the dog, that was there. And I messaged Paul straight away. He's like, well, if that's not a sign in your face, then what is? But I need to find out what that sign is.
You need to hunt for it. Maybe the answer's in the book.
I think so.
So it's just a case of whether you recognise it or not, whether you click on or not.
Yeah, I think there might be something that will jump out at me. But like you said, until I delve deeper in it, I'm not going to know what that is.
No, and I wouldn't put it to the side and say, I'll get to it later on. So I think I would, because I think I always, it's some kind of sign and somebody's trying to tell you something,
Yeah, I think so. Well, it's such a strange book to find, though, isn't it? In the middle of a street, it's such a strange book to find.
Aye, that isn't it? I recently read a book on angels and their signs. If you was there, I was walking through Kilmarnock, Burns Mall. That's our shopping precinct in Kilmarnock.
Oh, okay.
Now this is, and then this. What'd she say? I can't read that.
I recently read a book on angels, and there was a sign a few weeks later. I was walking through Kilmarnock, I think pronounce it right, Burns Mall. Now this an inside mall. Now this is an inside mall, so no birds. But I was walking through it, and a white feather landed directly in my hand. Yeah, that's a sign, isn't it?
Aye, that's what she did. Tell us about it. There's a lot of philosophy involved, negative more than positive, but it's enlightening. She did tell me, but it's when you get these bits and pieces like that, and a lot of people might dismiss it, but then you think, well, explain it to me. It's like, I mean, one thing, one of the biggest things that happened to me, and I'm going to make the story short. I'm going to cut the stories down short. Years and years ago, I never used to wear a seatbelt before the law came in. I'm going way back. And people used to pull me up, you need to wear a belt and all the rest. But I never, because I hated them. Because my friend's mum, she died in a car crash. And if she hadn't been wearing a belt, the police say she would have been able to get the car, but the belt jammed and she was killed, So, but there was one time I was just leaving Carlisle and I put on the lay-by for my break. And I was just about to pull back out, head back up to Glasgow. But something kept saying to me, put your belt on, put your belt. Let's go to the back, put your belt on. Put your belt. So I ended up putting my belt on. I never wore it. So I was about 30, 40 miles south of Glasgow, and there was a tailback in the motorway. It was a clear day, sunny day. I was at the back of the queue sort of thing, and this van went into the back of me. The police said he was doing about 70 miles an hour when he hit the back of the van. And he shunted me into a car. There was about 5 cars or something, not shunted up together. My van was destroyed, and I buggered on my shoulder and what have you. And the police says to me, if you hadn't been wearing your belt, you'd have been through the windscreen, basically. And Foley says to me, you had your belt on? I says, you never wear a belt. I says, I know. But there was just something nagging at the back of my head. Put a belt on.
You can't ignore those. You can't ignore them.
And that's why I did. Solomon looking for the meaning of life. I see you got your. Yes, Rhea, I've got my. I did a show with Rigger the other night, and obviously all our tops are black. I picked a black t-shirt out of the cupboard, and when I put it on, I realised it was just one of my normal t-shirts.
So you kind of blended into the floating head.
Aye, that's what Rigger said. Actually, could be a floating. I could be a floating. He actually said that as well. Could be a floating head. But when I put it on, I realised, I said, oh, this isn't a t-shirt. I saw that, I'll just wear this. So that's what Rita's talking about.
Well, you leave to match in your border.
Well, that's it. I do. We should try and thing it. That's just the back cloth, actually. That's what that
Yeah,
is.
it's very cool.
It collapsed on me. I was on with Rigger and Charlie one night, a few weeks ago, and I bet you wear your belt all the time now. My belt.
Your seatbelt, not your jean belt. Your seatbelt.
Oh, that's.
Where did you go then, Scott? Come back.
I thought you meant a belt for my jeans, Eric. Sorry, buddy.
You know what we're on about. Now you're listening, but you're not acknowledging. You just did that.
I know. It's law over here now, Eric. They brought the law in, about 10 years ago or something like that. They brought the seatbelt law in.
Longer than that.
Is it longer than that? I know it's I don't know what it's like in the States, but it's illegal here not to have your belt on. I thought it was talking about jean belt. I was going with Charlie. And,
she was like, belt.
What?
Stay with the program, Scott.
Sorry, I'll get back on it. I'll be back on the track. Sorry, I do apologise. I was going with Charlie and Rigger, and I don't know what the gap was, about a foot gap or something between the chair and that, and it just went over. And I says to Charlie, I said that backdrop was falling down, and it says I just fell down because I could see it in the camera, and it just went down. It went, you know, and Eric. Aye, you got me in that one, buddy. It's the same law here. And I think it was Eric that commented that's the illusion gone or something, you know. Because we had a guy with no longer contact with a couple of years ago. He came up to visit, and it was our old house, and he came in, you know, and he started looking about the house, and I says, you very a nosy bugger. I was like, you know. I said, you all right? He said, I'm looking for your studio. Mind that be? He said, I'm looking for your studio. I was like, you're what? I'm looking for your studio. And he was in the living room at the time. I said, you're standing in it. He said, huh?
This ain't a studio. This is a living room.
And so this is a backdrop, and I keep it it's a long kind of grey duffel bag. And I said, 2 seconds, I went and get the bag. I said, there's my studio there. Huh? I says, it's just some uprights with a cloth that I put up.
Funny, it's cool though how to call your studio.
I thought you had an actual studio. I thought you had done.
Yes, I must admit, I thought that too. When you said you're not in the studio yet, I thought you had some little soundproof room somewhere or a little shed in your garden.
No, I call it my studio.
Fair enough.
There's actually a dining table and chairs and that, and a fresh freezer behind you.
You need to chop it down so we can have a nose.
There you go.
No, I can't see it. Oh, very nice.
There you go. That's the illusion gone, you know.
You told that for me now, Scott.
So sometimes I don't bother putting up. Depends who's coming on. You know, if it's Rigger or somebody, I don't bother. I get a bit annoyed. But if it's a first timer, like you say, a newbie, shall we call it? If it's a newbie, then somebody important, you know.
Then I feel very privileged. Thank you.
It's all right. That is 10 minutes out of my life that I won't get back again. But you know.
So if I ever come on again, then that's not going to be there.
No, I'm not bothered because you've been on. So you've seen the backdrop. You know.
See,
I might take.
Out to me.
That's actually a tablecloth.
Oh my god, it gets better.
You see, and I've got just the pure black.
That's hilarious.
That's a tablecloth that we got printed up. It's nothing fancy, you know. You were just plain and simple, and it does the job.
But it looks very impressive.
You know, thanks very much. You know, wait till it collapses. You know, and
now, I'm going to laugh. You know that if that comes off now, I'm literally going to be here laughing my head off.
There was one after when we first started out. I was just a few months old. We used to have 2 computers. We were posh then, And so Sarah, she was on the other side of the living room, and I'd do giving away. Yeah, that's the only secret I'm giving away, dog. Trust me. But Sarah would be on the other side of the living room on her computer, and I'd be on this side, in the altos. And the room was the room was like Armageddon, And I was on a live one night, and the backdrop collapsed, and all you could see was Sarah on the computer, and the mess behind the backdrop, because the backdrop was doing it went, And that was it.
Good if there's nothing else going on there. Like your friend Kate just said about your pen. Should I get the screwdriver back out?
Scott, we were in the same house.
Just what me?
Were people not shocked we were in the same house?
Aye, people were shocked we were in the same house. They took on separate houses. Sarah just said, I never write anything down. I've said this in a few shows. I always have a pen. I never write nothing down because I can't spell. So, but I've always, it's something
like to. Screwdriver.
You can keep your screwdriver as long as you don't stick it in your husband, that's fine.
Never.
Well, don't deal on camera because I saw that going to court in England, business and all the rest of it. I'm not going as a witness against you. Do you know what I mean? So don't do it to your husband.
Never in a million years. I'd never do that to him. He's too special.
He's too special. But no, I use a pen, but I always have a pen, and I've done it since day one. Occasionally I'll write something down if it's important, Really, let's not talk about said game you play. Oh, no, it's a game on my phone. You probably do it as well. It's called, I'll tell you 2 seconds what it's called. I'm not advertising the bugger, but
you getting paid commission for that, Scott?
It's called World of Words or something. It's Words of Wonder. It's called, and it's one of these games you need to you make up the words with the letters, kind of thing.
Oh, I had that, but I got bored.
Well, I'm on level 400 and something, but we've got a wee group chat, and sometimes if I can't, well, me so every night, I can't get a word, I'll screenshot it and put it in, and Laura usually comes up with the answer. Sometimes it's like 3-letter words that bugger you.
Yeah, they do. Do you ever get that thing where you literally have like a brain fog? You know how to spell it, but then when it comes to spelling it, you can't.
I like it, so stuff like that, and but so you get a wee 3-letter word, and you sit there for about an hour or something going, and you just can't get it. And it's see when somebody else gets it in minutes, it's annoying when you've sat half the night and then you send it to them. There's of the words, kit.
Yeah.
How does Arnold think of that one?
Yeah.
As I said, we begin the show, folks. This shows can get down the toilet. We might be talking about paranormal, but
like you said, you talk about what you want to talk about, don't you?
Aye. Usually 99% of the time, Laura is brilliant. Beyond, I'm not going to answer that one, though. I'm not going to answer that one. So we'll get back to Edinburgh, will we?
Yeah, go back.
We seem to have veered off. Did you do Greyfriars and what have you?
Yeah, I absolutely loved Greyfriars. I really did. I was quite happy walking around there. Oh, blimey. On the first night we went to Edinburgh, we went to Greyfriars. I think it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. But then I got separated from everyone else because I kind of took a detour around the back bit. But I loved it. I just feel I love being in cemeteries. I don't know what it is. I just love finding a cemetery and having a walk around. And
they're really quiet, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. We went to a couple of cemeteries when we was in Scotland. We ended up walking because we walked up Arthur's Seat, and then on the way back down, we walked around past Holyrood, and then we ended up like I've got no idea. I think it's around the back of the Holyrood Palace. I'll probably get it wrong. Sorry about that. But it was at the back of Holyrood, and we carried on going up one of the roads, and there was this big old cemetery with like a watchman's tower.
Mm-hmm.
And,
That's Carlton Hill.
yeah, I think so. Is it? You got the statue of Burns not far from it. There's a monument.
That's Carlton Hill. So, do you know where the towers are for?
Yeah, they were. It was to keep an eye out for body snatchers.
That's right. You see, there's all that good stuff because there's quite a few people with no idea why there's, why is there a tower in the graveyard?
After we came back from Edinburgh, it just caught me. I just fell in love with it, and I think I bought 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got the City of the Dead, Lost Edinburgh, Blackfriars, Black Markers. I think I've got about 6 Edinburgh books down there, and I read them all.
We love Edinburgh. We've done tons and tons in Edinburgh, and Greyfriars is one of our favourite places to go. The Vaults, the Royal Mile, everything. We've done loads, and we're quite fortunate to be quite friendly with Jamie Custorphin, who runs City of the Dead tours.
Yeah.
That's it. I'd go with, if you're ever back up your line to go with City of the Dead tours. They're actually based in Greyfriars. When you walk in the grave.
We did a tour with them. On the second time we went, we did a City of the Dead tours, and I can't remember her name.
Jamie tells it as it is. Not disrespect to other tour companies. We went with a tour company when we done the Blair Street Vaults, and we thought we were just signing up for the Vaults, because that's what it said, tour the Blair Street Vaults, and we met at St Giles, and they took us around 5 or 6 different places, and ended up we were only in the Vaults for about 15 minutes, but the tour was over an hour. And they took us to, we were at St Giles and Mary King's Close, I think we went to. Where else did we go? There was another 3 or 4 places we went.
That close one on the stairs.
Advocates Close and stuff like that. But we were thinking, when the hell are we going to the Vaults? Because this is what we paid for.
Yeah, we paid for the Vaults and also to get into the Covenanters prison as well.
We were in there 2 weeks ago. We were in the Covenanters. We took Rosie and Andrea through to their day in Edinburgh, and we took them into Greyfriars. We ended up in the Covenanters prison as well. Did you feel there's a different atmosphere in the Covenanters to the actual Kirkyard?
I'm not going to lie, no. It felt the same to me outside, but I think there are a lot of people, because they know the story, like obviously Mackenzie's spirit and all of that. And in one of the books is constantly about people getting scratched. And if people have read the books or they've looked up on it, they're going to be expecting the worst. So I think a lot of it comes down to, you can pick up on people's mindset, you can pick up on how people are vibing. But truthfully, I didn't feel anything in there at all. I was nervous.
Even yourself, Greyfriars sits in one of the main routes in and out of Edinburgh, and so it's busy constantly, trucks, buses, cars, whatever. But as soon as you step through the gates of Greyfriars, I always feel like it's taking you back in time.
It's peaceful.
Aye, you wouldn't know you were like 5 minutes to the actual city centre.
Yeah, it's so peaceful, and I think that's why I get drawn to cemeteries. Because they are just so peaceful and calm.
See, the thing with Greyfriars as well, it started off as a valley, Greyfriars.
Yeah.
The bottom gate, you probably remember the gate at the bottom of the hill. That was the original level of Greyfriars.
Yeah.
Way back, and it's just the sheer amount of bodies that have created the hill, basically.
Yeah, it was because of the plague and everything.
Aye, there's a lot of plague pits, and the estimation's about 500,000 bodies in Greyfriars. Yeah. Which you think 500,000 people.
But if you think though, the plague wiped out over half the Scottish population, and they had to go somewhere, didn't they?
Well, that's it, because St Giles Kirkyard was full, and that's how Greyfriars started to get used as a burial ground.
I know.
But you think half of, and you've got the old scenario, you don't walk over a grave, never walk over, but you can't help it in Greyfriars.
You can't, because the whole place is a grave pit. You can't help it at all.
It doesn't matter where you walk, whether it's grass or gravel or tarmac, you're walking over somebody.
Yeah.
Or a couple of hundred people.
Isn't it?
What about the Mackenzie poltergeist? Did you meet him?
No.
No.
No. No.
See, the amount of people that get into Greyfriars in the community, I get touched by George Mackenzie.
No.
I get attacked by the Mackenzie poltergeist, and it's if anybody listens to the true story, Jamie tells you, it's nothing to do with Mackenzie.
No.
Is
Jamie the guy that had the flat that overlooked Greyfriars?
No, that was a minister.
Because there was one guy that I've got his book here, and he was a tour guide. I think it's for who you mentioned, and he had a flat that overlooked Greyfriars, and he was saying that since he lived there, weird stuff was happening in his flat, like really weird stuff, and like his girlfriend and stuff wouldn't stay there at the time. I'll find the book and I'll send you a picture of the cover.
See, the guy who actually owns City of the Dead is Jan Henderson.
Yeah, that's his books.
Well, he actually owns it.
Okay.
High Facebook user. He lives in, I'm sure it's Australia. He lives now, and it was him that wrote the book on the Covenanters prison.
Okay.
And Jamie runs City of the Dead tours for Jan. Basically, there have been stories, and people have reported strange things happening. I think there was a fire as well. One time, an unexplained fire as well in the flats. But you think, I have that book, Donna. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I think it's that one.
Ghost that haunts itself.
The Ghost that haunts itself. That was the first one, Jan. Thank you, V.
That one. Oh no, not that one. Not that one. But yeah, I have got that one. That one was the first one I read. It was amazing. I was hooked reading it. I read that on the way back on the train.
But there's never been. I mean, you're not able to investigate in Greyfriars now. They're totally back. Pardon me, totally banned. But we did a couple of investigations on Greyfriars before we found out about the ban, and we picked up nothing. The only thing we picked up was the presence of a male, and you're talking about seconds. Sarah felt really, really warm one night, and it was in front of the Mackenzie tomb. It had nothing to do with me. I'm not saying it was the Mackenzie poltergeist, but you could feel there was a male there, but it was like seconds, and it was gone again.
Yeah.
But we've investigated during the day, at night time, even though 3 o'clock in the morning thing as well. We tried that, and we've never had anything. But you get these teams that have been in, and as soon as they walk in, there's head, there's a sort of headstone flying through the air and blah, blah, blah. And I saw George Mackenzie, he was walking about, There is one individual, I'm not going to name them, but they're actually convinced that George Mackenzie is their guardian and visits their house.
Right, okay.
I'm not, but this person, they did a live one night and they says, George Mackenzie's here. And about 10 minutes later, he was away again. So he's obviously popped out for a cup of tea or something and then popped it back off to Ed, But, I better get back to Edinburgh now because, need to get back to the yard sort of thing. But this person's convinced, totally convinced that George Mackenzie's her guardian angel, whatever you want to call it, do you know what I mean? And that he visits the house. And it's deluded, you know what I mean? Totally deluded. I've got a spot in my glasses, you know what I mean? So, what's your... We've kind of strayed after paranormal and then came back to it again, haven't we?
I know, but that's what you said happened. So I'm just going with the flow. It's just really nice chatting to you.
Thanks very much. Say that again. That's so the people can hear it.
No, I'm not repeating that again. You should hear me the first time.
No, I did this in case anybody else missed it.
Oh, I said it's just really nice chatting to you after all this time.
Did you hear that, people? You heard it straight from the lady? not made straight for the lady. But yeah, as I said earlier, when you get these shows and they're rigid and boring and all that, and you want to go and dig up your granny or whatever, you know, because you're that fed up listening to it. But I think a show's better if you just come on and just be yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's the same with investigating.
You have to be yourself when you're doing that. Honestly, I mean, I've been host for quite a few teams. I'm still myself, but my priority is making sure that they're okay when I'm hosting. And this is why I don't host as much anymore, because I want to get that feeling back for myself again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, start to experience the stuff I did before I became a host, because when you become a host, yeah, you experience things, but not how you would if you're investigating yourself, because your priority is making sure that they're not having stuff going on with them that they're not aware of, but you can see and you can feel what's going on with them, if that makes sense.
I know, I totally get that. I've said this because we looked at doing events a couple of years ago about Top Dark stuff. It's not what we do. No offence to anybody who does them, it's we just get their own thing. But I think when you're hosting an event, you know, see, we went to that one at Nidri, Volks, and there was us and Spig, and there was another team there. But there were members of the public, but we didn't know they were members of the public. You know, we went in and we just all went into this one room and that was it. Folk just went and done their own thing. You know, but when you're doing the event, obviously, as you say, where, you know, you're hosting the event, so your mind's on your guests or the other team, whatever you want to call them. Whereas when you're doing an investigation, you're, you know, like 90%, 95% focused on that investigation. There might be a wee bit of you that's kind of watching in case anybody turns up or the usual kind of stuff that can happen. But the most of your concentration is on that event, on that investigation. As you say, when you're doing an event, you're kind of like, are they all right? Are they? You might notice the odd noise or bang or whatever. But when you, what am I saying?
You miss out on the experiences personally.
Aye.
When you're busy looking after guests, you miss out on the experience personally. And that's what I started to miss. I started to miss having the experiences that I used to get before I started hosting. And now, obviously, I go out. I said I'm a part of a team, but I won't host. I host if I have to. I'm quite happy to step up and help friends if need be. But I just love being able just to go out. And sometimes you can communicate with one spirit, and that spirit might stay with you through the.
She seems to have froze. She totally froze. Are we going to get her back? Do you think she knows she's frozen? I don't know if we're getting her back or not. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Are you back?
Yes.
You totally froze there.
That was weird because I had the little circles going around.
Now, I could see you were kind of like that.
I was like, where you gone? You disappeared. But yeah, no, so I've completely forgot what I was saying as well then, because the whole thing just disappeared. I'm like, you gone.
You were going, you just disappeared. You were talking about events that you're part of a team, but you're no host because you prefer getting down to the nitty-gritty sort of thing.
Yeah, I do now. I prefer being able to experience it, all the different stuff now, rather than focusing, like I said, on making sure that the guests are having a good time and they're interacting, and they, you know, they're there because they want to be there, not because they're being forced to be there by someone else.
I've watched Rita's Papa Court. I love listening. Rita Doll, do you love listening to Paranormal History, or do you love listening to investigations? I'm hoping it's the first one. See what she says.
I think it's the first one.
You think it's the first one? Well, I can quite agree. I love listening to myself as well. I don't know if you noticed or not. I've watched some of it, and the people who are hosting it, they don't let the public take part. So if the public are all standing round, and it's that team that's actually doing all the experiments and stuff, they don't let anybody else, they don't. To me, if you're hosting an event, both. Thank you very much, Doc. Thank you. If you're having an event, these people have paid £30, £40, whatever it is, to come to your event, then I think you should give them a K2 meter, give them a REM pod, and say, right, off you go and do your stuff, go and have a wander. But
when we've used to host like for events, basically you'd have a group of public with you, and the first rule of thumb is you make sure they are 100% involved. And as a host, we don't get involved. We do the calling out. If there's any spirit bog going on, if there's any table tipping going on, glass moving, we don't touch it, because the power of suggestion. And if they know you're part of the team, they're going to automatically think that you're faking it. And to us, why do an event if you're going to fake it? Why become a host if you're going to fake it? You don't do that.
I could go on a night with that. Tell you, I've seen one particular team, and the stuff they come out with is just bollocks, basically. Do you know what I mean? And you feel sorry for the people that paid the money, because no offense, it could be these people's first ever time going to an event, and so they're going to obviously believe what the organisers are telling them. This particular team, just one example they did, and they put up this picture on Facebook and what have you, and it was a set of double doors and square glass windows in the doors, and there was a woman on the other side of the doors, and she had a ponytail and a torch. But they put up the post saying, "Apparition caught on camera. We cannot explain this." But you can clearly see it was a woman with a ponytail and a torch. I've never known a spirit to need a torch, but however. And if you looked at their live earlier on, there was pictures up, and you could see the same lady in the pictures earlier on standing with the group.
Yeah.
But they put this thing up, apparition, we cannot explain this. I think, well, that's a wee woman with a ponytail and a torch.
Yeah, if you know you can debunk it, but I can't stand people that fake it. I really can't. I must admit, the teams that I have been with, I can honestly say they are really, really, really good teams. We've never faked anything. We've always got the guests 100% involved, because if you run a company or you work for a company, you want that person to remember you as a good host that encouraged them to enjoy themselves and to join in, and you want them to know that they can come back and not be ripped off, like you said.
And you want people to get value for money, basically.
Yeah.
And all right, you're running a company, you want the business, and the greatest way the best way of advertising is word of mouth.
Yeah, it is with everything, isn't it?
You can spend thousands of pounds on, posters or TV ads or whatever the hell it is, magazines, whatever. But the best way to get your company out there, or your group, whatever, is for people to talk about you.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, Charlie goes to your event, he goes home, tells Rita goes to her mum's the next day, tells her mum tells, and bang, bang.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like the team that, even though I'm with a team, I still join one team at the moment, and I love them. I absolutely love this team. And I'm going to say now, they're Brooks Paranormal. I've been on, I think for the past 7 weeks, I've been on their events, and I've got another 2 more. They're just such an amazing bunch of people. They're really genuine. They care about you as like the guest as well. Not once I can honestly, they're not in it for themselves. They are all in it for you. They're just a fantastic bunch. Mm-hmm. They really are. And I'm really proud to call them my friends now.
That's it. We've met a few teams and since we started this, and and we're fortunately calling friends, yourself included. I need to say that because you're on. You always need to say that. What was that? I saw that. I saw the death look there. I saw that look. Really sort of look. No, you get to meet people in the paranormal, and we're quite close with quite a few teams, you know, especially Spig, that fat boy who was in earlier on. He's probably munching a kebab or something. Probably not watching it. He's probably eating the fish and chip shop. And
Oh, you naughty.
you know, oh no, it's regular. The two of us slag each other to hell. You know, he's either him and his missus are coming here next Friday, for a drink. You know, and I was going to say he's for the same part of Glasgow. He's for a smellier part of Glasgow than Al. I tell him that, but you know.
Well, you've got to be honest, haven't you? Even with your friends.
Well, that's true. It's not his fault. He stays in the worst part of Glasgow, and I do feel sorry because we've got a carport, you know, and he's not.
You get the old spoon out.
So you fat shame me again. You're not exactly shy of a steak, but that's my saying, Mrs.
You've been told off there.
Aye. I usually say you're no shy around a steak pie. You know what I mean? But she's nicked my saying.
I tell you one thing, when we went to Edinburgh, we did try one of the deep fried Mars bars. Oh, sorry.
I've never tried it. No.
I had a smidgen, and believe me, I ain't putting nothing like that in my mouth again. It was rank.
No, I've never deep frying chocolate and that. Same as salted chocolate, salted caramel, salted pot, all that kind of stuff as well. No, it's no that. It's no normal. It was never meant to be. But deep fried Mars bars.
Best.
Not see when caramel first came out. You need my steak pie. She does. I will give her that. Laura does make a banging steak pie.
I don't eat steak. I can't stand steak. Sorry.
No, well, she does. She makes a nice steak pie, but salted. When caramel first came out, it wasn't salted. It's not meant to be salted. Leave it alone. Don't put salt on it.
No, put salt in it. Salt caramel's the best.
But deep fried Mars bars and stuff, no, it's just no. No, it's just no for me.
It was,
you know what I mean?
It was horrible.
I forgot. I was talking fake and that, but see, we've been lucky enough to meet up with quite a few teams, and we're really close with them, and we've been out investigating, and you know they're just genuine people, genuine teams, and you get these teams that go out there. You probably encountered them as well. That you know they might be investigating for 3 or 4 hours and have had nothing, you know, which happens.
Yeah, it does. That's paranormal for you.
Yeah, but then they'll start to make up stuff. They'll get wee Jim Bob to go behind a grave, a headstone, and throw a stone or something like that. You know? My God, that's paranormal.
You don't do that. You just admit it's a quiet night and you can't make paranormal do it if he doesn't want to.
Aye. Yeah, I think you get more respect doing it that way. You know, if you turn around and say, right, we've been here for 3 hours, we've got nothing, we're going up the road, we're going home.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. One thing I found with that, if it was a really quiet night, basically we'd just say, right, come on, who's got some really rubbish jokes? We start to talk amongst ourselves to get everybody's energy up and to change the focus.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly you might start getting little interactions because you're taking people's mind off, right, okay, we need to see a ghost. We're here for a ghost and it's not happening. So I always found if you have a chat amongst yourselves, start telling real stupid jokes, get people laughing, one, you're relaxing their state of mind and their body, and it just helps build the energy up. And you need the energy, otherwise you're not going to get nothing.
Do you think we've had this happen to us? Do you think, you know, when you get nights it's really quiet, you know? I mean, I believe there's always spirit around watching you, you know.
Absolutely.
And it's doing to them, you can investigate for hours, there's been thousands on bits and bobs, but if a spirit doesn't want to talk to you, then you're getting nothing. But that's the bottom line. You know, if a spirit's like, no, I'm not in the mood tonight, I'm just going to sit here and watch you, you know. Yeah. But if you start to, as a kind of like childlike mentality sort of thing, if you start to ignore them, as you say, to start telling jokes amongst yourselves, do you think maybe spirit sits there and think, well, I'm getting ignored now?
Yeah, that's exactly how I see it. And I've been on so many events. I've done over 400 events now. And I can honestly say on the scenarios when it has been really, really quiet, completely changed the subject, just clicked off from the fact that we're there to get the spirit to interact with us, start having a conversation, like I said, telling really bad jokes, and then suddenly you might hear something like, right, hang on. It's like they're saying, you're here to see me, so why are you ignoring me now? But I find sometimes if you put too much focus on something, maybe you can actually put a block on things without realizing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know this might sound totally nuts, and I want your opinion on this, obviously, but do you think the way you'll get spirits, that I always say that the only thing we don't take with us is this body.
Yeah.
Everything else goes ways, So you might get these spirits who, in the physical, they love the attention. They love people looking for them or talking about them. And so on the other side, in spirit, you've got, say for instance, they're standing in a graveyard and you're there with 3 or 4 other people and they're like that, oh, they're trying to talk to me. Great, I'm loving this, but I'm not going to talk to them because I want to keep this going and going because I love its attention. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. It does actually make,
Yeah.
but I've never thought of it that way, but that actually makes really good sense.
But as soon as you turn your coat, basically, as soon as you say, right, tell me a joke, that person, they're ignoring me.
Yeah.
I'm not getting attention, and I love it. I want the attention, so they'll do something.
Yeah,
because,
that's what I found.
And so the people crave attention in the physical. Who says that they don't crave it in the spiritual?
No, exactly. No disrespect, but if you're a miserable git in life, that's not going to change. And this is what I say to people. If you're a happy, lucky go person, and you as a prankster and a jokester and you did mood things, that's going to continue.
And if you were a ladies' man or a drinker or a smoker, you're still going to go, I could go a fag or I could go a wee whiskey. Laura, she had her bum squeezed one night we were out at Alloway Cup. She was sitting on one of these canvasy camping chairs and she let out a whoo, and she kind of, the wee jump you do when somebody feels your bum.
Yeah,
I've
had that done. One of the forts down near us, down in Portsmouth, is about an hour from here. And Paul, who's one of the hosts, he said, right, I want you to touch the person you're standing behind. I knew this spirit was behind me because I could feel him. Next minute, I pinched my bum. I'm like, yeah, you wasn't asked to do that.
Back it, behave.
So, one thing, I can't explain this, is that obviously spirits aren't a physical body, we're energy. And people say to me, well, how can they touch you and pinch you and do that when they don't actually have fingers?
You see, that is a good question. And I think it's one of these questions that people often wonder about. How can they move stuff?
Yeah, but I even ask it.
I've had my sleeve tugged twice, physically tugged, and I felt it. I was myself in a cup card. There was nobody else there. It was pitch black, but I felt the 2 tugs on my sleeve.
Yeah, I'm always getting touched, and especially my hair. Spirit are always playing with my hair.
Some of your teams, Sarah's been scratched before, in Greyfriars, evidently enough. She's slight scratches. Laura's had her bum felt. Sarah's brother had his hair pulled, touched. And you wonder, well, how can they do it? So there must be. I want to kind of frame my mind that the longer a person is over, the more they learn.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Yeah, I believe that 100%.
It's like as I've said many times, it's like the old mind film Ghost with Patrick Swayze. You've never seen it, have you?
No, the film, yeah.
The guy he meets in the train station. He's teaching him how to move the can.
Yeah.
I think it's the same kind of scenario. The longer you're over, the more you learn how to gather energy to touch it.
But do you think, though, the longer that you're on the other side, do you think that you move to different kind of planes or, astral planes? Or do you think you just stay sediment where you are?
I think it's entirely up to yourself, the old free will scenario.
Yeah, I guess so.
You can stay. You hear about spirits coming back in visitation. You know, and you think, well, where do they go in between? You know, you get historical spirits, you know, it's Anne Boleyn, people like that. You said, well, where do they go in between visits? You know, are they here? Are they somewhere else? If they are somewhere else, where is it? So I think you're kind of free to roam, basically.
Yeah.
You know, it
But
might sound stupid.
Get to a point where you think, do you know what? I'm actually done with being on the earthly plane as well as the spiritual plane. So do you go to, like I said, like a different kind of dimension? And there's so much that we're not going to know until it's our time.
Aye, we always say that. There's only one way to find out. It's the other question I've asked a few times. When you're standing here in the physical, you lift up your arm, you see your hand. When you're in spirit, you know, if you think you're lifting up your arm, what do you see? Do you see a hand?
Maybe you get the feeling though.
You might get the feeling, but do you actually see a spirit hand? Whatever, I don't know. This is where the mind just starts to go at that. You know,
I mean, I have got spiritual mediumistic friends that say that when they do see spirit, they see them as we are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
there's a couple of people have asked me before, have you ever seen a ghost? I say, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because what does a ghost or a spirit actually look like? Could be solid.
Well, exactly. Going back to what I said to you in Edinburgh, was that a spirit that we saw walking into the lift? Because it certainly wasn't a human that just vanished into thin air.
Aye. And the same at Stair and Spig. I think it was Laura's husband Craig that saw him as well. Saw that guy walk across the car park, clear as day. I had to say, I've never seen him. But they knew they saw him because David for Spig, he ran up to the car park thinking he was going to, but the guy he was gone. And to say there was nowhere for this guy to go.
Yeah.
You know, you're literally about 5 or 6 miles to the nearest village.
Oh, that's crazy, isn't it?
You know, and there's nothing, there's nowhere for anybody to go. So you think, well, was that a spirit?
They certainly keep us on our toes, don't they?
I firmly believe we interact every day with spirit, but we are not aware that we do. I believe spirit they're constantly round about us.
Constantly. Yeah. It's like we could walk past someone in the street that looks completely solid as us, but could be a spirit. I must admit, I do want to play a nasty, it is quite nasty. I said to my husband one day, I'm going to sit on a bench, wait for someone to come and sit next to me. And if they say hello, go, oh, can you see me?
That's a no one, dog. Sorry, but I've spoken to a few people that want to do that, you know, especially if they're standing in a graveyard. So you can see me.
You can see me. You can talk to me. You can hear me.
Definitely need to try that one day. I'd love to get Rick. He was actually, he mentioned that to me one day. He was going to do it. I think it would be funny just to get the
reaction.
I know that's so mean. So I will. Laura says I could maybe try that. You can see me if somebody says hello to you.
I done that when I was younger.
When you were younger, what happened?
The woman nearly had a heart attack.
Seriously, she done it too young. Imagine it would be quite funny, but do you?
I've got to find out. I've got to see how people react. I mean, it's like when you tell people that you do paranormal investigations. I put a video up on my TikTok yesterday. I just, I love to tell people just to see how they react because it kills me. It has me in absolute hysterics. I love seeing people's reactions.
I think we've told a few people, and it's kind of mixed reactions I've found. Before we moved house, we had to get the housing inspector to come out and sign off on the old house, basically. Yeah. And so it turned out I was a young girl that came out, and I was in, and this was up in the spare room, sort of thing, And so she went out of the room to check, and she says, "Well, what's that?" I says, "We do podcasts, and we're in a pub." "Oh, I'm right into that." I love all that kind of stuff. And the same, the wee one's room had darkness in it. So the guy, the sort of boss man, he came out to look at it. And again, he saw this and he's like, I said, oh, I'm right into that.
Yeah.
And he ended up joining the group. But other people kind of look at you have to say, you talk to the dead.
Yeah, my dad, he never used to believe in anything like that, but he says all the time, like, oh yeah, my daughter, she's into all that voodoo shit. I'm like, Dad, it's not voodoo. But, you know, it's just the way he says it. But before he used to dismiss it constantly, but now he's quite happy. So yeah, my daughter does all the paranormal stuff.
I think some people are under the impression that we run about graveyards naked at midnight throwing bananas at the moon or stuff
You
like
don't
that.
do that.
No, no, during the winter, it's freezing. During about July, August, that's the best months to do that. But up here, the rest of the year, you're buggered. Do you know what I mean? And but see, well, you're not allowed to do it in Tesco anymore.
I know, I got kicked out for doing that.
I know, especially in the freezer aisle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's not acceptable, not with the pork chops anyway.
No, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? But the one's got more secrets. All right, it's actually grapes we throw at the moon, no bananas. But no, a lot of people think, you know, if you're into paranormal, you're a weird. But 9 times out of 10, we are kind of weird. You know, anybody sits in the graveyard at 1 or 2 in the morning, freezing, you know, talking to the dead. There's going to be something wrong with them, basically, you know, in a good way. But I think that what do you think? I think that the attitude towards the paranormal's changed, especially the last kind of 10, 15 years. You know.
Oh, massively. It's really accepted now, isn't it? You know, I think because there's so much of it on TV that it's become part of everyday life, isn't it? People talk about it, and I must admit, I think there's only one person that knows me, that knows I do this, and he doesn't like talking about it because he just thinks it's mumbo jumbo, and I respect his opinion.
Everybody's, you know, hey Matt buddy, Eric, I could spell, I accept blackmail. Don't mind, Laura. But I mean, everybody's got their own opinion. Fair enough. You know,
yeah, you have to respect it.
Some people believe, some people don't.
Yeah.
But we have to respect other people's opinion. There's one individual out there that was quite famous last year, shall we say, and he's started off again, but he just ripped the paranormal apart. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. I got a lovely friend request from them last week, and they got on the block list.
I joined your group a couple of weeks ago, and immediately started verbally attacking this lady who's a friend of yours.
No, straight away they went on the block. And
it was booted. But you know, if you don't believe in the paranormal, fair enough. But don't rip people apart because you do believe.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've been interested in the paranormal for decades. You know, it was horror films that first got me into the ghosts and all the rest of it, Jason and Freddy and all the rest of it. That's how I get into the sort of horror, paranormal sort of kind of thing. And then I started going to spiritual church because I had a mate whose uncle ran one, and it just carried on from there.
You have to experience them as well, though.
Exactly, you know, and I went to one spiritual church one night, and I get 5 or 6 different messages for different, 4 different messages for 4 different individuals, and it just blew me on my backside. You know, it just noted me for 6. Paranormal brings unity, support, and comfort. Well, it's meant to.
It's meant to. But sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it brings out the worst in people.
There's too much the fame game and you know,
too much ego in some people.
There is, you know, we're not. I mean, we're not. We're just, you know, all right. We've got an American side and an Australian side, fair enough. But we're just a small team for Kilmarnock at the end of the day. And you know, you get these people, as you say, Donna, the ego and all the rest of it. They go there and. Well, look at us, we've done this and we've done that. And but that's not what we're in it for. We're in it because we enjoy doing it. Don't get me wrong, it's good to get a wee compliment now and again. You know, if somebody says, oh, I watched it live the other night, it was really good. So thanks very much. You know, but then you move on.
Yeah.
You know, you get these people there that's what they're interested in. Look at us, we did this, we did that.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, I get bored of all of that. I think as we've all got our own stories and we've all got stuff that we're really proud of. But once you've got your, you know, you've said it, there's no need
Move
to
on.
keep talking about it unless someone asks you about it.
Aye.
You know, is that, I mean, I must admit, I do talk an awful lot about the paranormal because I love it. And if somebody wants to know, I will say, look, you know what, don't set me off, because if you've got an hour, I've got 6, you know. You know, I won't go on to the point where I can say, if someone says, yeah, Donna is kind of like obsessive talk, I'm like, oh yeah, I realise, sorry, you know, you know.
No, but if it's something you're passionate about, like the paranormal, you know. I mean, I'm passionate about the paranormal. I'm passionate about Formula One. I'm a big Elvis fan as well. I can talk for hours on all these subjects, you know. And it's not a bad thing. It's because it's something you're passionate about and you like talking about.
Yeah.
You know. But you get these, you know, these cabbages out there that just want the TV series. You know, they want to be the next Zach Baggins or whoever, you know, and that's not what it's about.
No, it's not. I mean, I went to the Mermaid Inn, oh God, years ago. And it was probably about a month after I had someone message me saying, oh, you know, we saw that you was at the Mermaid Inn and would you come on the show and do like a chat about it? And I can't remember what it's called, but the 2 people that I was with, they went on and did the show, but I wasn't interested in that because to me, I'd already had my experience and I didn't know who these people were. So I refused to go onto the show and talk about what happened at the Mermaid Inn. Not that an awful lot happened, truly. It was a quiet night, but it was an experience to be there. And I was like, yeah, but you can be on telly. I'm like, I'm not bothered about being on television because sometimes what might have happened is my personal experience and sometimes you don't want to share that.
No, the other, I've said that in a few shows, you know, Sky TV could chat my door, you know, the morning and say, right, we want you to do a 10-part series on the paranormal, day investigate. I would tell them, stick it.
Yeah.
Because it takes, you know, I mean, we're quite close with GSI. They're on Paraflix, you know, and they're doing really, really well. They were one of the first teams we ever interviewed, and we're like family, you know, and they're doing really well, which is fantastic. You know, they've stayed genuine, but they've kept it real. But I think that once you go, this is just my opinion, once you go into the telly side, it takes the personal side away.
Yeah,
because then you're then working for the man. Basically, you know, that you could say Sky TV again, say, right, well, we want 10 episodes, 10 investigations within 4 months, you know.
That's a lot to ask as well, isn't it?
But that's it. Whereas if you yourself, you've probably had this as well, there'll be nights we'll go out on Friday night investigating, come Friday night, you're sitting there and think, can't be annoyed, you know, or it's bucketing with rain or something, you think, oh, you know what, we'll just leave it. But if you're doing a TV series, you don't have that choice.
No, you don't. You're signed to it, aren't you?
You need to go, you know, where it's 10 foot of snow, and you go, and it takes the personal side away because you're out there, you're investigating, you think, right, I need to deliver something here.
Yeah.
You know, I need to, whereas if you and I go, you know, just ourselves, if we get nothing, we still had a good night and you go home. End of story. You know, that's just my views
when
on
you have to provide, though, is a bit different, isn't it?
Aye, you know, you see you're contracted for 10 investigations, and you're maybe 4 or 5 investigations in, and you've still had nothing. Then you start to, I would imagine, you start to panic. You think, well, hold on, I'm halfway through this, and I've got nothing. I need to get something, otherwise they're going to sack me.
Yeah.
You know. And that's when the fakery starts to roll in.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if you saw that, but that just went really, really, really bright behind me. Yet I don't have any lights on behind me.
Never noticed it.
I don't know if anybody else noticed that. This literally, I'm looking at you and myself, and the whole of my screen behind me went really, 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 really white. Then really bright, but I've only got a light on the other side of the computer.
No, I never noticed that. I've only got my specs on. I can't see nothing.
I can see the glare in your specs.
See, I was it's funny you mentioned that. We were doing we started our Wallace trail today, and Gordon for the Society of William Wallace was talking to him. He was there, and we're talking about writing scripts and stuff, and I was saying, well, the good thing about wearing these is I don't do it anymore. I used to write stuff down, and I'd have it sitting just to the side of me, leaning up against something. I says the good thing is the computer shines off my specs, so you can't even really see my eyes.
You can't see your eyes.
Sorry?
You can't see your eyes. Just
No.
your specs.
You see, so I can sit and read something out of a book or a bit of paper, and everybody thinks I'm still looking at the camera because they can't see my eyes. They can't see that I'm looking elsewhere. And just when you said about the glare, so that was a bit of useless information there, Bill. But Gordon had a conversation about that the day, how the glare after the computer belts off your specs and you can't see the person's. You can see your eyes, can't see mine. So I could be looking.
No,
I could be looking at the kitchen sink, and you wouldn't.
that's it. You could be rolling your eyes under that, as far as I know.
Oh, I hate that. See, you see somebody rolling their eyes and they go like that.
And I was like, if my mouth did that, my eyes did.
Aye, it's when the eyes going. You just like punch something coloured. But no, see that's where I feel the fakery comes in. But people want to do TV and that, then fine. But there's a load of ego in the paranormal, especially with this cabbage for last year. This year as well. He's just, he's actually not even worth talking about. But it's just when he seems to pop up every now and again, don't you think?
Yeah, it's like you get this kind of like dormant period, and suddenly, ping, springs around. All the flowers are popping up. I think I'll go and join them.
Aye, I'm back again. Who can I slag at this week?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not interested in anything like that. I'm sorry. I'm not interested in it.
No, we don't. Don't get. We've been running nearly 4 years, and we've had our ups and downs, as every other team does. We've had our wee bits of drama here and there, but we just tend to stay away from it all because there's no need for that. That's not what we're here for.
You don't need it, do you?
No, and people say, I don't know if you probably get that as well, and people say you're trying to prove the existence of life after death. So, well, no, we're not really.
No, I've never had that.
You never have. I've had a couple of people say you try to prove there is life after death. And you say, well, no, not really. We're just, we believe there is life after death. We're not trying to shove it down your throat.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't like it, there's the door.
Aye, and if you don't like what we do, then don't watch.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't force people to watch. I mean, all these lovely people here, they can log off if they wanted to.
Aye, but no, we've got, these are all lovely people, especially Rita, who said earlier on, I need to put this comment back up. Sorry, I love this paranormal history.
You need to just highlight that one now, don't you?
I don't know how to.
Nor do I.
Or see when it comes to computers and that, they'll tell you, you're sitting earlier on, I've got a sound bar here, right? And it was hooked up to the computer earlier on because we're looking at the footage for the day. And so, but I prefer using the headphones. So when I was sitting here and I plugged the headphones on, so it says turn the Bluetooth off. And I was like, looking at the screen. How'd she do that? I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I go live and I use my phone. If we're out and about a day or not live, I'll use my phone. Because I don't know how to use that. I was going to do a live the other week for some reason. Somebody had upset us or whatever. That's what it was. Somebody thought that we were only a podcast team, a podcast group. That's what we did with podcasts. So I went to do a live and I sat down. You know what? I'll do it at the computer. And I sat down at the computer, went on their Facebook page, and I could not work out how to go live.
No, that's so difficult, isn't it? What, on your phone?
No, on the computer.
On your computer, yeah. No, I've not tried that. I've only just really learned how to go properly live with TikTok ones.
I've not. We've got. I think we're nearly the 3,000 mark with TikTok. We've been able to go live for a while, but I've never ever done it. Went live on TikTok.
You should try it.
I've watched a few of yours. I watched all of yours. Sorry, I watched all of your TikToks.
Yeah, you're my stalker. I've seen you. It comes up. You know, it's viewed your profile.
When you've got Laura's bad for it, actually. Bless her. You know, it'll pop up my phone. Laura, like 27 videos or whatever, you know, love. You've just watched all of them, haven't you? You've not been keeping track. But
Yeah,
no,
I think it was a few weeks ago that we kind of had a splurge on each other's pages, didn't we?
aye, and you see, you know, I say, well, I need to catch up on yours and stuff, you know. But there's that much on TikTok these days. I love doing TikTok. I try to do maybe 1 or 2 a week, you know, and there's nothing fancy. I put photographs together with a wee bit of music. That's it, job done. I can't. Sorry, no.
I love them. Literally, as soon as I see your post pop up and I hear that music, it just makes me want to go and explore.
Well, thank you, dear. I try to vary the music, you know, for AC/DC to gospel, and or, you know, instead of just using the one kind of type of. So I try to sort of mix it up a wee bit. But I do enjoy doing them, you know, putting them together. But some of the comments we get, with one guy a couple of weeks ago says, "I don't get it. I'm confused." I had his pictures of a graveyard I put up. I'm confused. What are you confused about? That's not paranormal history. And so I comment, I says, no, it's paranormal in history. We cover both subjects. I said, but he says, but that's not the history of the paranormal.
No, but the building or the place you're going to has got history to it. So put the two together.
Aye, exactly. But this guy, you know, no offense to him, but he just could not get it.
No.
You know,
I tend to get weirdos on mine. Not you. I get comments. I get some. And my daughter at one point, she was ready to tell him to go away, you pervert, but he found himself on the block list.
Some of them on there are just, you know, they call themselves, no, we're nothing fancy on TikTok. We don't claim to be creators or influencers or any of that stuff, you know. But you get some of these, and I'm the biggest creator on the leaderboard and all the rest of it. And, you know, it's crap. It's all bollock, basically, you know. But as I say, I couldn't work out how to go live on the PC. That's what I was talking about. See, I can start talking one thing and just off to another subject.
Welcome to my world.
But I sat here and I was like, how do I do it? How do I do it? And so I ended up saying, I says to Sarah, I'm going to sit on the couch, it's comfier. What I really meant was I couldn't work it out in the computer, so I did it on my phone.
So you kind of copped out then, yeah?
I gave up. I could not work out how to go live on the computer. I sat for a good 10 minutes or something thinking, and you're looking all over the place in case you're missing something. And you always look in the same place 3 or 4 times. You ever do that?
Yeah, and that's when you realise you're like, oh, bloody hell, for crying out loud, and you've been live for 10 minutes.
I have. I mean, Laura's took the naked guy. Oh, a few years back, a couple of years back with it was actually for Australia we done, and it was a late one because of the time difference. And back then we would put the link in the chat if somebody asked for it. You know, I'm going back to 2020. So it popped up on my screen, so and so wants to join. There was a name that we recognised. So I let them in. And it came up on the screen just what you have. But it was a guy, total stranger, young guy, standing in his hallway, and he just totally stripped off. But naked.
Oh my God.
And we were live.
Oh my God.
And it took us a few seconds to register that this guy was standing in his hallway
with his
naked.
Bananas out.
Was, you know, his Coventry's. And So we ended the live, you know, we thought, what the? But luckily, the lassie that was on, you know, she saw the funny side. She thought it was hilarious, you know. So we made
have to in that situation, wouldn't you? You'd have to find the funny side because it's not your fault.
But that's it. We just sat, as I say, it took a few seconds to realise he's naked. He's naked. Stop, you know. And we to scrub it, we deleted that one in case we get a strike or whatever. But it's just, it was, you know, it wasn't funny. After it was funny. There was another time we did a Halloween live. I think it was our first Halloween. And we weren't very professional then. And there was a group who was on the panel. And it was about an hour and a half in or something. And I thought we'd had finished, you know, so started swearing and all that, because we don't usually swear on this channel. We have the odd slip up, but I was like effing and seeing and this went on for about another hour and a half. And then I noticed the comments were still coming up on the screen. And I thought, why are they comments still coming up on that screen? And it turned out we were still live.
Oh no!
And I'd been swearing like a Swedish sailor for about an hour and a half. Thinking, you know, thinking we were backstage, and it turned out as soon as I saw that, I thought, why are they comments coming up? And then I looked up and I saw the wee red square in the corner saying live. And serious that we're still live.
Oh my God, good job you weren't slagging someone off, innit?
I probably was. I can't answer it. I remember there was a lot of swearing. I remember that side.
That's
I started drinking.
Eh?
Is that the night I started drinking?
And Sarah was drinking. You know. So it was a bit of a riot, you know. But luckily people saw the funny side. And that's what makes it natural, but when these things happen, you know. Have you ever had something weird or funny happen to you in a podcast, whatever? Totally unexpected.
No, this is only the third one that I've done. I did one, but no, normally, I said you're the third one I've done. But normally, I call my daughter and I expect her to hang up, but then she expects me to hang up. And I'm having a conversation about God knows what. And she's like, Mom, I can still hear you. And I'm like, oh, shit, you shouldn't have heard that. You meant to hang up. She goes, no, you're meant to hang up. I'm like, no, you're meant to hang up. So but yeah, not a podcast.
As long as you want to talk about anything underhanded or whatever, do you know what I mean? Sticking a screwdriver in your husband or something like that, you know?
No, never. The ex-husband, yeah.
That's a different story. That's the ex-husband. But no, I enjoyed doing the podcast. You get to meet a lot, you know, interesting people. You can have a laugh, and you never know what's going to happen.
No.
You know, I've had a few moments on podcasts, you know, where my guest has disappeared, and it takes you a couple of seconds to realise that they're gone, you know.
Oh my God.
And they can't, you know, because they pressed the wrong button or something. And then there was one night we did with CRA Entertainment, we done a film quiz, and with David Espinosa, Craig Abbott, the directors and the cast and all that with CRA Entertainment on the panel. And it was a film quiz. We were asking film people about film, and my chair broke without warning. It just went, and so I went, gone.
Oh my God, I'd have loved to have seen that.
And I think he's still on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. But on the way down, I managed to kick out the camera cable as well. So we just disappeared, you know. And I was looking around for something to sit on. You know, what the hell? And I ended up sitting in Sarah's makeup trolley thing. She did it was like a kind of suitcase on wheels.
So something else that can collapse then?
It was what?
I said something else that can collapse then.
Oh, that didn't collapse, but the chair just went. And when we watched it back, Craig Arms was saying, I think our hosts have disappeared, you know. But I was only
send the link to that because I'd love to see that.
I'll do it. It's on our YouTube channel.
You cracked the wheels on it.
Eh?
You cracked the wheels on my makeup case.
I knackered the wheels on it because my big ass. But I was hunting the room for something. I even tried to, you know, that you see in films and that, you know, you kind of, the person will be sort of crouched down in a sitting position without a chair.
Yeah.
I even tried that. I thought, no, that's not going to work.
No,
And then-
it would work for me because of my knee. Sod that.
And then I spotted the makeup thing. But it's things like that make it, you know.
Make it fun. Yeah, that's what makes it normal, isn't it?
I think people want normal. You know, they don't want to sit and watch some rigid granny sitting there talking about tarot cards and bowel movements. What I'm saying, you know, basically.
That movement.
Well, you get what I mean. Some,
Is that
you
the
know,
one that you just is that the one that you just dug up?
you know, some you just want to go to your own funeral watching some of them. You know, I'm not naming anybody. No, that's, you know, people have different ways of doing things, I suppose, don't they? Bless them. But we just like to be laid back and say, as it, you know, say it as it is. Luck you get slap on the well on a good day, there, though, aye, on a good day. But that's the way it should be. But I'm going to wind it up now because that's 2 hours we've been on.
It doesn't seem that long, does it?
No, it does not. So I need to bring you back for a part 2 because time's marching
No,
on.
I'd love to. I've loved this. Thank you so much.
I'll need to get you some dates over, but I'll keep a hold of you after we come out. So don't disappear.
Okay.
So where can people find you? And no, I don't mean with a screwdriver in your hand in your bedroom.
No, that's gone now. That's back in the drawer. Don't worry about that.
Right, just leave it. Step away from the drawer.
I can't step away. I'm sitting next to it.
Slide away there.
Don't worry. It's safe. Look, you just want to see it one last time, didn't you?
Aye, because that's what I love to. I love to look at screwdrivers,
There you go.
hammers. If you get any good looking hammers there.
No, no hammers. That's in the wardrobe.
No. That's behind the
Seriously,
door.
it's on the top shelf in the wardrobe.
I don't even know what's in your wardrobe, Donna. You keep that to yourself. No, I mean, thanks, Laura. Aye, so where can people find you?
On Facebook. My TikTok as well. I'm always posting videos up on that. I need to remember what it's called because I always forget. My TikTok is at paranormal_Donna. That's an open page. Anyone can look at that and comment if they want to. But I have turned off private messages because I was sick of the weirdos.
Right, that's fair enough. You know.
But other than that, my Facebook page is private though. It's only friends that I have on my Facebook page. So, yeah, and this probably my TikTok that I also have my videos and post where I'm going, and I do a little write up after the event as well, which you've probably seen that on my Facebook. I do write ups now of like how the events afterwards.
I think we used to do that at the investigation, but then I couldn't be annoyed. I just stopped doing that. It's too much hassle because I'm a one finger typer, you know. And it takes ages. You know, Sarah, and I don't know how you type, but Sarah can sit with her phone, you know, and with the thumbs with that, you know. Aye, with that.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I'm a one finger guy. That's it, you know. I tried it.
That's the man's generic thing, though, isn't it? They just like to poke buttons.
I tried it. I tried the thumb thing, but no. You know, it's like rushing.
The old Atari days. Remember the old Atari games?
No, my dad. I'm still a young thing, though. My dad told me about Atari. I remember Atari. They were computer games, weren't they? But see the look there. Aye, of course I remember the Atari games. Aye, one of them. You know,
get your thumbs going.
the tennis one that went like that.
Oh God, you remember that little? Yeah, you're like, no, I'm gonna miss it. There we go.
Yeah. It was like life or death or not. I mean, the thing went like that, didn't it?
Yeah, it goes so slow, but it would get your heart racing. Like, I need to hit it.
Aye, you like that. oh my God, I need to hit this wee line in the middle of the screen or I'll
And
die.
then I think it was about after level 10, it started to speed up a little bit.
Aye, they didn't tell you about that in the small print, did they? That it gets faster. You know. Same as the other one, mine Space Invaders, the first Space Invaders came out and then
Oh, I love that. Especially if you're down the old club with your dad, they'll be at the bar and you'll be in the games room on the old Atari ones, the old Space Invaders, and Pac-Man as well. I can't forget Pac-Man.
No. I'm from Glasgow, dog. When I went to the club with my dad, I was usually at the bar and he was in the games room.
I love it.
I'll be waiting a minute, Dan. I'm just giving myself a pint. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be waiting a minute. Know what I mean? I just the other way around. Or he was at the Puggies. Some I never played. I played the odd Puggy now and again, but I used to work beside a guy who was addicted to Puggies. This guy would put pounds and pounds and pounds in this Puggy. You know what I mean?
What's
the
Puggy?
game?
Is that a fruit machine?
Aye. Or do you not call them Puggies down south?
No, they're fruit machines.
All right, we call them Puggies up here. We call them fruit machines as well, but after that was a kind of UK name for it, Puggy.
But no, never heard of that. Only ever fruit machines.
Well, there you go. Next time you're up here, if somebody says, I'm going to stick a pound in the Puggy, it means pound in
I
the
know
fruit
what
machine.
they're on about now.
A bit of useful tourist information for you. You know, you've given me every
So
pub.
we are hoping to come back. We are hoping to come back to Edinburgh, but the plan is...
You're glitching again. She's froze again. We're just going to wind up and she's froze again. I bet she's getting wee circles giving them round.
What?
Are you back?
I'm back.
You disappeared, I guess, twice.
Yeah, no, this time of night, my kids come awake, so all the internet gets zapped.
Oh, they're using up your internet.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah,
God
they wake
invented.
up this time of night.
That's why God invented an on and off button there. I mean, that's what
My off
happened.
button is when I'm asleep. I don't notice it.
Right, we'll wind up. I'll keep a hold of you
Okay.
after we come off. So we'll wind up there, folks. So big thanks to Donna for coming in. You've obviously seen her again. We kind of ran out of time. We ran over time. Whatever way you want to call it, I don't know. But we're back on Sunday with Highland Paranormal. And you've also seen the lovely Donna. And in case everybody missed the page today, we started filming our Wallace trail today after waiting for months and about 5 or 6, 7 different dates. We finally got it underway today. So keep an eye out because we're not sure where we're going to show it yet, but we'll post the details on that up on the page. So we were up in Stirling today and it stayed dry. Very important. Stayed dry, but it was freezing. But we got it done. But that's it. So thanks again to Donna. She's over there. Thanks again to Donna for coming in. You'll see her again.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure, though. And thanks to everybody in the chat as always. And we'll be back on Sunday night and have a nice weekend. All right. So we see you later on, folks. Take care. Bye. Bye.